الله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Tonight with Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, and another fa'idah in his fawaid from his benefit, the book الجاهل من الله، شكوى الجاهل من الله. يقول رحمه الله: الجاهل يشكو الله إلى الناس، وهذا غاية الجهل بالمشكو والمشكو إليه، فإنه لو عرف ربه لما شكاه، ولو عرف الناس لما شكا إليهم. ورأى بعض السلف رجلا يشكو إلى رجل فاقته وضرورته، فقال: يا هذا والله ما زدت على أن شكوت من يرحمك إلى من لا يرحم. وفي ذلك قيل: وإذا شكوت إلى ابن آدم إنما تشكو الرحيم إلى الذي لا يرحمه. والعارف إنما يشكو إلى الله، وأعرف العارفين من جعل شكواه إلى الله من نفسه لا من الناس، فهو يشكو من موجبات تسليط الناس عليه، فهو ناظر إلى قوله تعالى: وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم وما أصابك من سيئة فمن نفسك، وولما أصابتكم مصيبة قد أصبتم مثليها قلتم أن هذا، قل هو من عند الله. فالمراتب ثلاثة: أخسها أن تشكو الله إلى خلقه، وأعلاها أن تشكو نفسك إلى الله، وأوسطها أن تشكو خلقه إليه. Here, rahimahullah, talks about very common behavior and very common phenomena that a lot of the believers do and they shouldn't. And the title of being Muslim or believer, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses them in the Quran in too many places, Ya ayyuhalladina amanu, they should refrain from this behavior, even though it's common. And it's a behavior that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with His mercy, protects some people from. And those indeed are the people of knowledge, the people who know what they need to know, and people who act according to what they know. But al-jahil and the ignorant falls into this phenomenon, and it's indication of the biggest jahl and the highest level of ignorance, as he says, Allah. And he titled this fa'idah, this benefit, by shakwa al-jahili min Allah, the complaints of the ignorant about Allah. The complaints of the ignorant about Allah. يقول: الجاهل يشكو الله إلى الناس. Ignorant complains about Allah to the people. يعني he complains about his qadr to the people. He complains about what Allah inflicts him with to the people. Then he says: وَهَذَا غَايَةُ الْجَهْلِ بِالْمَشْكُ وَالْمَشْكُ إِلَيْهِ. And this is the highest level. غاية يعني the end of ignorance in regard to the one you are complaining to, or about the one you are complaining to, and about the one you are complaining about. So he's saying, when the person complains to the people about Allah, it's indicative that he's so ignorant of the people and of Allah. Because if he would have known the reality of the people, and he would have known Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would have known well that such complaint is a sign of ignorance, and such complaints return of no benefit. فيقول فإنه لو عرف ربه لما شكاه. If he would have known his Lord the way he deserves to be known, the way he should be known, he would have not complained about him. وَلَوْ عَرَفَ النَّاسِ لَمَا شَكَى إِلَيْهِمْ. And if he would have known the reality of people, he would have not complained to them. وَرَأَى بَعْضُ السَّلَفِ رَجُلًا يَشْكُو إِلَى رَجُلٍ فَاقَتَهُ وَضَرُورَهُ. And one wise man from his Salaf saw a man complaining to another man about his hardships and about his difficult times in life and his needs. قال يا هذا. So the wise man told him, that man who knows Allah and knows about Allah, فقال يا هذا, he told him, listen to me, والله ما زدت على أن شكوت من يرحمك إلى من لا يرحمك. All you did about your complaint, you did not do anything more than complaining about the one who has mercy over you to the one who has no mercy. That's all you did. When you go to complain to a human being, all you do about your hardships, about your problems, about this, about that, about you being poor, about being this, about being rich, about being that, complain to the people. You're only doing one thing. You're just complaining about the one who will shower you with his mercy to the one who has no mercy over you. Because in reality, people will sympathize with you, but most people will do nothing. People will show you sorrow and will show you feelings and will support you, but in the real time, you miss them. ما أكثر الأصحاب حين تعدهم لكنهم في النائبات قليل. The friends, too many, if you want to count them. يعني if you want to get a paper and start writing the names of your friends, most probably you're going to go through page and 2 and 3 and 4. But in the times of hardship, they're few. They're few. الأخلاء بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقي. The friends, the khilla, يعني the closest friends on the day of judgment are enemies of one another, except those of taqwa, those whose friendship was for the sake of Allah. ورجلان تحابا في الله اجتمعا عليه وتفرقا عليه من السبعة الذين يظلهم الله في ظله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. One of the 7 categories of people that will be in the shade of Allah on the day of judgment. 2 people who got together for the sake of Allah. They came together for the sake of Allah and they departed from each other for the sake of Allah. So he told him, listen to me. Only you did what you just did by complaining about Allah to this man. All you did is you complained to the one who has mercy over you to the one who has no mercy. وفي ذلك قيل وإذا شكوت إلى ابن آدم إنما تشكو الرحيم إلى من لا يرحمه. And if you complain to the son of Adam, as the poet said, the wise poet, if you complain to the son of Adam, then you just complained about Ar-Rahim to the one who has no rahmah, to the one who has no mercy. والله سبحانه وتعالى يقول ادعوني أستجب لكم. ادعوني أستجب لكم. Make dua to me, submit to me, supplicate to me, I will answer you. And when Allah says, وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ حَدِيثًا, and no one is more truthful than Allah. When Allah promises, you ask me, I will answer your call. So why are you going to complain? And why are you going to go to other weak human beings to complain about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? ويقول أبو هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في البخاري ومسلم يتنزل ربنا تبارك وتعالى إلى السماء الدنيا حين يبقى ثلث الليل الآخر. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descend to the lowest heaven in the last third of the night, when there is 1/3 of the night is left. ويتنزل, and He descends in His own way subhanahu wa ta'ala. He descends in His own way. فيقول من يدعوني فأستجب له من يسألني فأعطيه من يستغفرني فأغفر له. Allah will say, who is asking me for something, so I give it to him. Who is asking me for forgiveness, I grant him and I forgive him. Who is making dua, so I'll answer his dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, رب السماوات والأرض the Lord of the world and the Lord of the universe, come down in the last third. And imagine if someone important, or not even important, that you know is coming to visit you at 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe he's coming from a long trip, someone dear to you. You will wake up 2 hours earlier. That's if you're going to go to sleep, actually, the first place. And you will prepare the best foods, and you will get yourself ready, and you might drive in the middle of the night to the airport to pick him up. And here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabb as-samawati wal-ard, coming and descending from His arsh to the lowest heaven in the last third of the night to ask. And this guest is coming to take. This guest is coming to eat your food. And this guest is coming to sleep in your bed. But here is Allah coming, descending to ask you what you want. So I give it to you. And how many of us are heedless? And how many of us are sleeping? And how many of us are unaware of this privilege? That's why we always say that no one makes qiyamul layl or stand up in the middle of the night to pray. The munafiq does not do that. The munafiq does not wake up to pray at night. The munafiq does not do that. And only from the blessings of Allah on some people that He gives them the power and the will and the energy to do that. And those are Mustafeen, and those are chosen, that who are able to do that. Those who got the chance to be alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descending in the lowest third of the night to the lowest heaven, in the last of the night to the lowest heaven, to ask what you want. You want me to forgive you? Ask. You want me to give you? Ask. You want me to answer your call? Ask. So why would you waste your time asking and begging and complaining to human beings who have no power and who have no mercy, and they have their own concern and their own life to worry about? They sympathize with you in front of you, but rarely and hardly they're going to remember you in 5 minutes, because they got their own issues. So here is Allah offering to you His forgiveness and His grants and His blessings, but you're sleeping. He's sleeping. What else you want? You're sleeping and snoring and enjoying the soft beds and the soft mattresses, and Allah is asking. So indeed, those are winners who have that chance to be alone with their Lord. And in the salah, in every salah we say, Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Every time you get out of ruku', Sami Allahu liman hamidah. You know what that means? That means that Allah answers the call of the one who shows Him praise. Allah answers the call of the one who shows Him respect. Allah shows His mercy and answers the call. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allah hears the one who praises Him. And when Allah hears your praise, Allah will bless you, and Allah will praise you amongst the angels around Him. So be aware of that and be very cautious of your salah. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. If you would reflect and you would think a little deeper in this statement, you will realize it's a great deal. And that is every part of the salah, and every statement is made of the salah. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Praise Allah instead of complaining about Allah. Then He will hear you and He will answer your call. And that is something that we have neglected. Yani, don't you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He sent Musa and Harun to Fir'aun, and He reminded them and He told them to be nice to him. And this is Fir'aun. This is Fir'aun who claimed to be God. أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. And this is Fir'aun who claimed to be Ilah. مَا عَلِمْتُ لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَهٍ غَيْرِي. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Musa and Harun to go to him, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا, and talk to him in a soft, gentle way. فَقُولُوا لَهُ قولا لينا لعله يتذكر أو يخشى فيقول أحدهم سبحانك ربي ما أرحمك سبحانك ربي ما أكرمك إن كان هذا قولك لفرعون الذي قال أنا ربكم الأعلى فكيف تكون رحمتك بمن يقول سبحان ربي الأعلى. He said, Subhanallah, how merciful you are, and how generous you are, and how great you are, and how forgiving you are. If this is your order to Fir'aun, your order to Musa to tell Fir'aun in a soft way, and Fir'aun is the one who said, I am your Lord, the highest, أنا ربكم الأعلى. So how is your mercy in someone who says, أنا رب سبحان ربي الأعلى? How is your mercy in one of your slaves who recite سبحان ربي الأعلى? And this is the mercy of Allah. This is Ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Ar-Rahim. You recite Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim in every salah. In every rak'ah. Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, most merciful as they translate it, most compassionate. But you know, if you read in some of the tafasir and read in Ibn Kathir, you find that the ulama distinguish between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. فقالوا الرحمن هو الرحيم, يعني he shows mercy to all his creation. That is Ar-Rahman, merciful, and Ar-Rahim, the same root. But Ar-Rahman is comprehensive and entails all the creation. But Ar-Rahim is especially for the believers. وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala includes you as a slave in His name of Ar-Rahman and includes you with extra mercy with Ar-Rahim. So that is the one you refer to, and that is the one you should return to, and that is the one you should beg from, and that is the one you should ask from. But to ask a weak human being, a human being who has his own concerns, a human being who has his own desires, a human being that might have mercy or not, he might be tyrant or not, he might be poor or not, who cannot do anything for you. This is the highest level of ignorance indeed. So be aware of that. So he says, Rahimahullah, وَالْعَارِفُ إِنَّمَا يَشْكُو إِلَى اللَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. Al-Arif, and the one who has knowledge, and the one who knows his way to Allah, only complains to Allah alone. When he wants to complain, only complains to Allah. And that is, from this you should understand very well why we stand against those demonstrations, and against those riots, and against those complaints and screaming. Because we only should complain to Allah. Going to complain to the person who is oppressing you does not make any sense. And they do not listen. And they have no mercy. If they would have had mercy, they would have not oppressed you in the first place. And we forget to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِلَى اللَّهِ نَشْكُو ضعفا في قلوبنا إلى الله نشكو قسوة في قلوبنا وفي كل يوم ناعق الموت يضرب نؤمل آمالا ونرجو نتاجها وفي علمنا أننا نموت وتخرب. Complain to Allah, يرحمكم الله. And remember that Allah who has the power, وأعرف العارفين من جعل شكواه إلى الله من نفسه لا من الناس. And the most of knowledge and the most guided is the one who makes his complaint to Allah about himself, not about the people, about his own self. How many of us complain to Allah and say, Ya Allah, I complain to you hardness in my heart, soften it. And if the heart was soft, you will get the taste of Al-Iman and the sweetness of Al-Iman, because this deen has taste and has sweetness. But with hard heart and with very solid heart, it does not work. And you don't. That's why we pray and we fast and we make dua and we do this and we do that, and we don't see any effect in our life. Wallahi, we should, after praying and after hearing the ayat of Allah during these nights of Ramadan, when we walk out of that masjid, we should feel like we're flying and we are in the clouds, out of the happiness and out of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what you just heard? You just heard Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking to you. You just heard the ayat of Allah, the words of Allah the words of Allah that was given to Jibreel, who brought it fresh to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It was just said on that moment. It was not said before. It was not preserved in a book before, and Jibreel was taking it piece by piece. It will be said directly from Allah, and Jibreel will hear it, and he will take it to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So know that and think about that. كما قال أحد العلماء قال والله لو يعلم الأمراء السعادة التي نحن فيها لحاربونا عليها أو لقاتلونا عليها. If the umara and the leaders and the kings and the rich people and the people who think they're most powerful, if they know the happiness we have, and he's one of the righteous people who has connection with Allah, he said if they would have known the happiness we have, they would have fought us for it. They would have fought us for it. And you have those moments where the iman is at its highest in your life, at its highest level in your life. You don't want to sleep. You feel like you're walking in the air, and you feel you're so happy and so light. This is the way of life that we need it all the time, and we need it continuous, and that is by only connecting to Allah and by only knowing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says the most knowledgeable one is the one who complains to Allah about himself, not about the people. Not about the people. He complains about himself because he knows what the people have done to him because of himself. What the people has put hardship on him because of what he has done. Because this is الجزاء من جنس العمل وكما تدين تدان. Because what you do, you get inflicted with. You do good, you get good. You do bad, you do bad, you get bad. هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. The word for الإحسان other than الإحسان. So the most knowledgeable person and the most connected to Allah complains to Allah about himself, not about the people. So in other words, he complains about the source of the problem, and he complains about the roots of the problem. He doesn't complain about the root, and he doesn't complain about the sin. He complains about the disease itself. And then he said, فهو ناظر إلى قوله تعالى, because he sees in the book of Allah and he reads where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أنفسكم. And whatever hardship you go through is because it's a result of what yourself have done. وما أصابك من سيئة فمن نفسك. And whatever hardship that take place over you or happens to you because of yourself. ويقول أولما أصابتكم مصيبة قد أصبتم مثليها قلتم أن هذا قل هو من عند أنفسكم. And when you went through hardships, and this talks about the Sahaba, والحكمة بعموم اللفظ لا بخصوص السبب, that when you complain, why is this happening to us? Why we have to go through this? Why we are humiliated? Why we are oppressed? Because of what you have committed yourself. Because of what you have committed. So when something bad happens to you in your life, it's a result of your behavior, of your shortcomings, of your sins. So instead of complaining about your poverty, instead of complaining about your diseases, instead of complaining about your household, instead of complaining about your kids, instead of complaining about your wife, complain about yourself. Because when those are bad, because you have done something wrong. So that is the wisest of all, who he complains to Allah about himself, not about the people. Then he said, فَالْمَرَاتِبُ ثَلَاثًا. So as a result, complaining is at 3 levels. When you complain to Allah, falls in 3 levels. أَخَسُّهَا أَن تَشْكُ اللَّهَ إِلَى خَلْقِ. The worst, the lowest of all, is to complain about Allah to His creation. وأعلاها أن تشكو نفسك إلى الله. And the highest, to complain about yourself to Allah. وأوسطها أن تشكو خلقه إليه. And the middle of it, to complain about His creation to Him. So very important to understand this message. And what is even more stupid and more ignorant, he who complains to the kafir. He who complains to the kafir, and he who complains to the fasiq, and he who complains to the hypocrite, because he's gonna take it, this kafir and this fasiq will take it as opportunity to take you away from your iman. So he tells you, you're talking about Allah, and you're talking about the iman, and you're talking about the Quran. Look what's happening to you. Leave that all behind and join me. You should have better life. That is the most difficult. To complain to a kafir, to give him the chance to criticize your religion, to give him the opportunity to attack your deen, even though he's ignorant and he doesn't understand the hikmah behind inflictions. But what is the point of complaining to kafir? So once you know this, you realize that no one can help you. And you realize that most people will not even care. They're going to hear, and they're going to give you faces, and they're going to sympathize with you, and they're going to give you words of support. But there is no mercy than the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those who know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very well, they complain to Him, and they ask Him for help, and they understand قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لابن عباس يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات احفظ الله يحفظ احفظ الله يحفظ. The Prophet ﷺ teaches Ibn Abbas, he said, I teach you some words. Protect Allah, Allah will protect you. And protecting Allah by obeying Him, and by fulfilling His command, and by standing firm. That is how we protect Allah, as a result of Allah protect. And this is Ibn al-Tabari, one of the ulama of this ummah. And when he was too old, and he was traveling in the sea, and when they got to the shores, and he was traveling with young people, and he was, I think, reached the age of 70 or 80, he jumped off the boat. He jumped off the ship, and he landed on his feet. فقالوا له نحن شباب وخفنا أن نفعل هذا ولا نستطيع أن نفعل هذا. We are young and we could not do that, and you're doing it. You're jumping off the ship, no problem. فقال تلك أعضاء حفظناها في الصغر فحفظها الله علينا في الكبر. These are our bodies. We feared Allah regarding our bodies when we were young, so Allah protected them for us when we got there. احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى in سورة هود فكيدوني جميعا ثم لا تنظرون إني توكلت على الله ربي وربكم ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيتها إن ربي على صراط مستقيم. Hud alayhi salam, when his people challenge him and they reject him, he tells him, get together. اجمعوا أمركم بينكم. Get all together. وكيدوا ثم كيدوا. You all get together. All of you plot against me. You're one team, and by myself. But who's with him? Allah. He said, إِنِّي تَوَكَّلْتُ عَلَى اللَّهِ رَبِّي. I put my trust in Allah, my Lord. That is his technique. And that was his plan. You all get together. You say I'm misguiding you. You say I'm lying. You say I'm this. You say I'm that. You say I'm crazy. That's fine. All of you get together and attack me. I put my trust in Allah. That's all I'm going to do. Then he said, Rabbi wa Rabbi, your Lord and my Lord. ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيتهم. There is no creation, and there is no dabba, and that includes people and human beings. There is nothing but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the full control of it. آخذ بناصيتها, and in ناصية مقدمة الرأس, and the forehead. So it's very important to understand that he understood very well that Allah has the control of every creature. So if Allah has control of them, and Allah with me, and He directs them the way He wants, so why should I be afraid? Why should I be afraid? And why should I be worried? There is no worry, and there is no grief, and there is no sorrow. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. If you are with Allah, you are on top. If Allah with you, no one can defeat you. So it's very important to understand this point. You see, Sahaba, they were one of them like a billion, if not more. One of them like a billion, and a billion of us less than a one, because we have different measures than them. Because when Allah said أقيموا الصلاة, they established the salah. And when Allah says to us أقيموا الصلاة, we dance. You find a lot of Muslims running after music and singing and dancing and partying and this and that. And Allah says أقيموا الصلاة. Allah did not say dance. So why you waste your life in these things? That is why one of them was a billion, and one of us, or a billion of us, less than one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. We make no weight for them on the day of judgment. Those who thought they were doing great, those who thought they were contributing, those who thought they were doing khayr, لَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. We make no weight for them on the day of judgment. So very important to understand that. And I finish with this little story that you will see what I'm trying to say. For those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for those who understand that Allah آخذ بناصية كل دابة, and Allah has the full power over every creature. Imam من أئمة أهل السنة, actually من كبار أئمة أهل السنة, من أهل الحديث, المحدث الورع الزاهد, الإمام الأوزاعي, إمام أهل الشام. This is one of the greatest ulama of this ummah, and the greatest of the ulama of al-hadith, Abdullah bin Ali al-Abbasi, tyrant from the tyrants of Bani al-Abbas. And you know Dawla al-Abbasiyya, and al-Abbasi came after al-Umawi. After they defeated them, they took over. And you know the center of the Dawla al-Umawiyya was in Sham, in Damascus, Dimashq. So when this man conquered Dimashq, the center of al-Khilafah, he went and they reported that he killed 38,000 Muslims on that day. 38,000. This is a Muslim, suppose. Killed 38,000 Muslims, and he allowed the horses and the soldiers to walk into the masjid, Bani Umayyah, al-Masjid al-Umawi, inside the masjid with their shoes and with their horses and with their preparation and everything they had into the masjid. Killed 38,000 Muslims and took the money of the people and took the properties by force. So when he finished, he looked at the people around him, and he looked at his advisors and his consultants and those people who support him, and he said, do you see anyone here who will challenge me? Do you see anyone in Dimashq that is willing to stand against me? قالوا لا نرى أحدا إلا الأوزاعي. A man لا يخشى في الله لومة لائم, علم أن أكبر جهاد قول كلمة الحق عند سلطان جائر. A man who does not fear in Allah anything. A man who knows the best level of al-jihad is to say the word of truth in front of a tyrant leader. They said, we only think al-Awza'i who will stand against you. So they told him, bring Lawza'i. He told them, bring Lawza'i. So when they brought him to his palace that he took over, and Lawza'i knew that it's the blood, and he knew it's over, and he knew that this man has no mercy. Abdullah ibn Ali, Saffah, the butcher. So when he came, he says, what you think and what you say about the people we killed, that's him. He said, when I walked in, I saw that he made a line. He made a line of soldiers, standing facing each other, two, and they're holding the swords, crossing the swords, each one. So he had to walk under the swords to scare him and to shake his iman. He said, when I knew that he wanted me, I got my kafan on before I got there, under his clothes. So when I walked, he says, when I walked, فَرَى وَاللَّهِ مَا رَأَيْتُهُ إِلَّا كَذُبَابًا. He said, Wallahi, I did not see a man, I saw a fly. I saw him like a fly, يعني small. والله حينما رأيته تذكرت يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير. He said, when I saw him, I remembered when people stand for Allah, a group in paradise and a group in the hellfire. And he who remembers that, what he gonna fear? What you gonna be scared of? فقال له السفاح, what you say about these people we killed? What you say about these people we killed? 38,000 Muslim. قال, look, in a time where the person forgets his own name, in a time where forget everything, the sword is just over your head, waiting for an order, a blink of an eye, to go on your neck and separate your head of your body. He said, عن ابن عباس وعن ابن مسعود وعن عائشة وعن أبي هريرة وعن أنس أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بأحد ثلاث: الثيب الزاني والمفارق لدين الله المفترق لدين الله المفارق للجماعة والقاتل النفس التي حرم الله إلا به. He said it's been reported to us from Ibn Abbas and Ibn Mas'ud and Anas and Abu Hurairah and Aisha that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said it's not permissible the blood of the believer unless of 3 crimes. The adulterer, married man who commits, or married woman who commits zina, and the person who kills another Muslim without justification, and the one who abandons the deen of Islam, a Muslim who leaves the deen of Islam, the apostle. So he told him, if you killed those 38,000 people using these excuses, then you're fine. But if you didn't, فَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ عِقَابٌ. If you did not kill them for committing these crimes, then it will be punishment on the day of judgment. Not like some people who pretend the knowledge and who claim the knowledge, the mufti and this and that, when someone of power, and maybe not even someone of power, they ask him a question, he will give him the answer that he knows will make him happy. As it's been said, أحمق الناس من باع دينه بدنياه من باع دينه بدنياه أو من باع دنياه بدينه فالباء تقترن بالمتروك. The worst of the people who sells his dunya or his deen for his dunya. And the worst of that, even the worst, who sells من باع دينه لدنيا غيره, who sells his deen for other person's dunya. You see? He did not sell his deen for his own dunya. He's naive and stupid. But worse than that, who sells his deen for a dunya of someone else. And then he said, someone comes to him and he tells him, I threw this oath on my wife, and I threw that oath on my kids, on my slave, oath of haram, to sleep with them and to enjoy with them. He tells him, no problem, don't worry about it. So the man goes back home, enjoys his family, enjoys his wife, and this person, أفتاه بغير علم فهلك. This person lost his dunya, his deen. So Al-Awza'i was not like that. He said, what you say about الأموال التي أخذناها? He said, what you say about this money that we have taken from the people by force, يعني. He said, if you are entitled for it, then it's hisab. يعني if you're entitled for it, you just got your money back. And if you were not, فهي عقاب. And if you were not entitled to it, يعني you took it by force and by oppression, then it's punishment on the day of judgment. فقال الأوزاعي, he says الأوزاعي رحمه الله, فلما قلت هذا رأيت يعني الأمراء يرفعون ثيابهم. I saw the people around lifting up their clothes. Why? So when the sword hits me, the blood will not hit them. And I lift my turban, so the sword will go straight on my neck. فقال سفاح Abdullah bin Ali, he said, اخرج, leave. فخرج. فلما دخل, يعني when he was coming in, he was mumbling. So one of the soldiers ran after him. He said, Billahi alayk, I ask you by Allah, this person wanted to kill you. This person was complaining about you, and he said, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to him. Kill, death, just kill 38,000, will not hesitate to kill another one. I ask you by Allah, what did you do? So he told him, when I saw him like Lubaba. I saw him like a fly. Then this is Safah. And Lawza'i lived, and life passed him, and he died. This Lawza'i rahimahullah died before Safah. So this Safah used to go to the grave of Lawza'i. This tyrant used to go to the grave of Lawza'i, and he used to stand there and say, Wallahi ما كنت أخاف أحدا على وجه هذه الأرض كما أخاف هذا الرجل. He used to say, Wallahi, I did not fear anyone on this earth the way I used to fear this man. The way I used to fear this man. So those are people who knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the support. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the help. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who protects and the one who defends his awliya. And Ibn Tulun was the wali of Misr, the leader of Egypt. وما زالت طاغية من طغاة مصر وما زالت مصر تأجر بهؤلاء. طاغية, tyrant in Egypt. This Ibn Tulun, he killed more than 30,000 Muslims. You know how? By starving them to death. Starving them. So Abu al-Hasan al-Zahid, one of the ulama and one of those who know Allah, stood up to him, and he reminded him of his crime. So he decided to kill him. But he wanted to kill him in a fashion to teach the people not to challenge him. So he gets a lion and he starves him for 3 days. He starves the lion for 3 days. And then he is imprisoning this Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Zahid, and in front of the people he let the lion go out. And that is at the same time when Abu al-Hasan started his salah. A lion starving for 3 days, he will eat the dirt. So when he came toward Abu al-Hasan while he's praying, he licked his hand. He licked his hand and he walked away. So Ibn Tulun, he knew that if he would kill him now, people will go against. This is one of the awliya of Allah. Just witness karama from the karamat of Allah. He let him go. So when the people came to him, they said, we ask you by Allah, what was on your mind when you saw that lion coming toward you? What was on your mind? يعني to run away, to jump, to fight. What was on your mind? He said, Wallahi, ما كان شيء على بالي إلا هل لعاب الأسد نجس فيفسد علي صلاتي أم طاهر. He said, nothing was in my mind other than, because the lion licked his hand, he said, nothing on my mind other than, is the saliva of the lion najis or tahir? So I will have to repeat my salah. That was in his mind. If his salah is good or not. ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. Indeed, the awliya of Allah should not fear or grieve as long as they believe and have the taqwa of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.